18 marriages since reality shows came to be and so popular. 18 marriages have been destroyed.
Well, if I could say anything, I mean, I definitely love her. I've grown to love her more.
No, that's good.
At one point, I was her biggest fan. You know, I really was. I really admired her.
You're proud of her.
Yeah, I really admired everything that she did as a woman. You know, I think that we have lost sight of what the true picture, which is that we did, you know, take an oath to God, and we did build a family, a brand, whatever has come of this reality fiasco. We have had two beautiful children, and at the end of the day, you know, I only wish her the best. I can't say, you know, if it's gonna last, if it's not. You know, you can always say what you hope for. You know, I hope that it does last, but there's an issue with the hope and the but. The but and the hopes in a sentence is only because whatever happened before that didn't even matter. So whatever I just said, you know, when you say a but and the break in it, it's like if something doesn't change and we don't start to cherish one another and start respecting one another, then I'm 34 now. I refuse to be miserable.
Right.
Hands down. No matter if I want to hold my family together, no matter if I want to continue to support my wife, or if I want to, you know, continue to grow in this facet, I refuse to be just miserable. I deserve, with everybody else deserves, to be happy in their own way. So
What's I think what about Brandon Deshay? What happened there? Why were you so upset with him? What happened there?
well, that's what y'all didn't see. You know, I left from the beginning. You know, I've been painted as the bad guy. You know, there's been a lot of good things that I've done on that TV show.
I've never looked at you as a bad guy. I looked at you being passive, but never as a bad guy. Not until this happened, because I thought you took a lot of shit.
Okay.
I did. I thought you took a lot of stuff.
I just felt like, you know, there were, I guess why I would say the bad guy, well, I guess that's another way to look at it. I never knew that, but, you know, there were so many positive things that I've done, you know.
Like what?
You know, I started NIDA Group. That was a halfway house program that I started. You know, I got certified by the Pardon and Parole Board of the state of Georgia. The TV show, they never, you know, they never wanted to, you know, embrace that. You know, I guest speaking to, you know, battered women, you know, women who didn't have, you know, a husband or, you know, father figure in the household who has children. You know, they really, you know, we really had to push just for them to kind of air a little bit of that. And it was just like a tiny little snippet, you know. It's like, so all the positive, it's like they would prefer the negative, for example. So that day, you know, I was really feeling good. You know, I didn't have a problem with Brandon, whatever. You know, when all that stuff happened in the room, I put my shoes on, and what you didn't see, because it was edited very well, they're good at that. Peter pushed him down, he fell on the beanbag. He jumps up off the beanbag, and the man had rage in his eyes.
Who, Brandon did?
I'm telling you, rage.
Why was he?
Because at this point, like, he's really feeling like threatened, because at this point, Peter had to use force to push this man down. The beanbags are on the floor, so if you're going backwards, you're going to trip over. So he falls on the beanbag, gets up, running. I jump in the middle of Peter and Brandon, just like this. I'm like, yo, stop. You know, I'm probably not like that calm, but like, I'm using force. And I'm not a weak guy, you know, and I feel his arm, like he's literally pushing, my arm is pushing in, and I'm looking at Peter, looking at him from the peripheral and trying to see exactly what's going on here. And I couldn't hold him. So at this point, I grabbed him by his throat. That might have been the wrong thing to do, but I couldn't like hold his body, you know, so I grabbed him by his throat to kind of contain him, and then he hit me in my eye. So no
He hit you in your eye?
Yeah, no one saw that part. See, when he
Which eye? That one?
Yeah, because I was like this. So, you know, he swung, and I seen it coming, and I kind of moved back, and it still caught me. And at that point, you know, I lost it, because, you know, I'm the type of person, just, you know, who I am and where I'm from and how I was raised, and just, you don't put your hands on me, period, because I feel like...
Everybody was putting their hands on everybody.
But not in that way. If you hit someone, you mean harm. And it only takes one hit. This is what I did an interview before. It only takes one hit to hurt somebody, like majorly. One. You know, if you meant to put your hands on me, there was something going through your mind, you should have contained yourself. So whatever happened, you know, I'm not proud of it because it was definitely bad, and it took me somewhere that I, you know, haven't been in a long time, and I didn't, you know, I wasn't proud of what happened.
What's Everett saying about you and all of this? How is he looking at this?
Oh, Everett?
Yeah.
Oh, he's you know, he's still incarcerated, but he, you know,
he's back in.
Yeah.
Because he came out to work with Phaedra.
Yeah.
And then he had that.
Yeah. But he calls me, you know, every week, pretty much, sometimes every day. And, you know, of course, one side of it, you know, he's proud of, you know, just the accomplishments and everything. But, you know, the other side, it's just like, man, you know, you really effed up, you know what I mean? Like, he always tries to be supportive as possible, but I guess, you know, just...
Who do you blame for the pillow talk thing? Who do you blame in the beginning for how it started?
Nobody, because I don't feel it happened. Like, you know, I've already said I apologized to, not to the network, you know, they made millions off of it, you know.
You sure did.
I didn't apologize to them, you know, I apologized to Brandon. Like, I talked to Brandon for like an hour.
You did talk to him?
Yeah.
Okay.
I spoke to him for like an hour. I was in LA, I was in LAX, I was either in New York or LA. No, I was in New York. And I spoke to him for well over an hour on the phone. That's all I have to say.
You called him?
Yeah, I called him.
How did he receive it?
It seemed cool. We was able to talk for over an hour. I just, you know, I really sincerely apologized to him, and, you know, it got out of hand and it was what it was, but I don't blame anybody.
You all don't get paid for every time the network shows something, right? Just one time, and that's it. So, let me see.
See, that's another thing too, like with the pay, you know, it's like, you know, the men are not under contract. People don't understand that.
Right.
You know, the
so
women
you all don't get paid.
No, we don't get nothing. You know, you have to, it's like pulling teeth, and, you know, it shouldn't be like that.
That's what happened with Gabe and Trina. Gabe wanted to get paid, right? And they was like, no. That's what's happening with T.I. and them too, with the kids.
Right.
The kids want to get paid. And that's not happening there.
They should.
Because they're making the show.
That's the show.
How do you think? What do you think about spending thousands at the strip club? I mean, you make money from the videos and what else? I mean, because people feel like, well, nobody knew what he was doing in the first place, so that's what he was doing is this car thing.
Well, I make money from the videos. I mean, you know, one check. I mean, one of my monthly checks from the videos is $32,000 for a month in sales. I mean, we make money. You know, I have real estate. I purchase properties. I flip them. My last house I bought it at $12,500. I sold it for $46,500. So just do the math. You know what I mean? And so the thing about that, which I really didn't continue to keep going, it was a party, and $8,000 was spent. But it doesn't matter if it's $5,000, if it's $8,000. Don't matter what it is. You know, if that's your vice and if it's your money and that's what you want to do, cool. Because guess what? There's no different. And I hope you word this right. There's no different.
It's gonna be the word exactly how you say it.
There's no different than $8,000 spent on a strip club versus $8,000 in a Versace store or $15,000 Hermes bag. So for Nene to sit there and say you should have spent that $8,000 on your kids, well, you should have spent that $15,000 on that Hermes bag on your kids. It's no difference. It's what you wanted. It was your vice at that time. So I feel like that was taken out of context, you know, because everybody has something that they like to do.
Is it your vice now? You still?
No, if I go out, I go out.
Do you does Phaedra worry about you being out with other women?